Hi, this class will focus on the shoulders, and it will be helpful if you maybe have a block that you could use for chair pose as an option, and we'll also be using a strap. You could use a rope, an old tie. It doesn't have to be stretchy. Any kind of strap would do. So we'll start with our mobility practice. Shoulder circles. Hands can start towards the floor. And then as you feel ready, you can bring your hands into other positions, maybe out to the sides, maybe gently overhead or in front of the body. And just take some circles around in different directions at a pace that feels comfortable to start with today. Let that rest for a moment. You can shake it out. And then windmills are next. Cross the center of the body, a big circle back. As you reach behind you, imagine that you're paddling through water. So you might pull downward with a little bit of energy, feeling your shoulder blades engage in the upper back. You can let your torso rotate gently from side to side. When you're ready, let that relax. Moving to the wrists. Bend your wrists forward and back, gently in front of the body at a pace that feels comfortable. You can let them rise a little bit higher. Maybe bending a little bit more forward and back each time. Gently wiggling the fingers if you like. And then start to add a little push downward, floating back up, pushing down, engaging those shoulder blades again. Couple more. And you can let that rest. Bow and arrow is next. You can choose the direction if you know which one you like best. First option, arms out to the side, palms together, pull back with effort, and reach apart. A few more times on this side. Maybe feeling a little bit of a stretch in the front of the shoulder on the arm that's moving. Let's do one more on this side. You can follow your hand with your eyes to bring a little more movement into your neck. Let that relax. Take the second side, palms together, pull back, leading with the elbow. A few more times on this side. One more time. And let that rest. Other option is bow and arrow forward. So arms come forward, alternating, reaching back, opening up behind you. Other side, reaching back, opening up behind. From the side, it looks like this. And last one. Let that relax. Standing cat-cow. Tuck the tail, reach the arms forward, let the head and neck relax, looking down at the floor. As you're ready, draw your hands and elbows back behind you, stick your tail out behind you and your chest forward, and reverse between the two movements at your own pace. One or two more. And then let that relax. Shake it out. Side body is next. Gently take a little rotation from side to side so you can see where you're starting out, any sensations you can feel. And then as you're ready, come back to center. And we'll lengthen the side body muscles, first drawing the armpit towards the hip on one side, and then high five off to the side. Contract and lengthen. Maybe feeling a little bit more range of motion each time. Bending and reaching. Take one or two more, and when you feel ready to compare to the first side that we haven't worked with yet, just take a little reach from one side to the other. See if anything feels different from the side we worked with to the side we haven't, and then start the second side when you're ready. Contract and lengthen. And when you feel like this side had an equal chance as the first side did, you can just alternate reaching from one side to the other. You might turn a little bit behind you and reach, adding some gentle rotation. Maybe a little bit towards the floor. And then when you feel done exploring, you can come back to your rotation and just see if anything feels different. When you're ready, let that relax. We'll move down to the hips. Imagine you're standing inside of a box. You're going to reach the left hip to the left front corner of the box, the right hip to the right front corner. Find the distance that feels comfortable for you. And then as you're ready, turn it into a half circle. Reach forward, sweep back behind you. Reach forward, sweep back. From side to side, you can change the distance of your feet if you want them closer together or farther apart. And as you go from side to side, just notice if any spots feel a little bit bumpy or sticky. You can go a little bit slower over those spots. Help to smooth out the movement. Then when you're ready for the opposite direction, now we'll reach for the back corners. Right hip to the right back corner, left hip to the left back corner. Change the distance of your feet if you like. Once you find the distance that feels comfortable to reach, turn that into a half circle. Reach back, sweep forward this time. Other half of the circle. Same thing here, searching for any spots that feel a little bumpy. Go a little bit slower to smooth them out. And then as you're ready, go ahead all the way around in one direction. And then the other direction. When you're ready, standing in a comfortable position, now we're moving down to the feet. Shift most of your weight to one foot. The other foot alternates from the outside edge to the inside edge, just back and forth from side to side, just along the edges of the foot. And you can start to trace around the edges of the foot in a circular motion in one direction a few times, and then go ahead in the other direction. As you're ready, let that relax. Shift weight, now the second side, outside edge to the inside edge of that foot, gently from side to side. And then as you're ready, start to trace around the edges of your foot in a circular motion, a few times in one direction, and then a few times in the other direction. As you're ready, let that relax. Standing in a comfortable position, reaching one ear towards the ceiling. Stretching now the side of the neck. Option to bring that hand out to the side. If you like, let your fingertips reach up while the heel of your hand reaches down, and gently wiggle your fingers like you're playing the piano. That can help release the muscles in the hand and forearm. As you're ready, let that relax. Second side, ear to the ceiling. Option to your hand out to the side. Fingertips reaching slightly up while the heel of the hand reaches down. You can gently wiggle the fingers if you like. As you're ready, back to center. One more time, each side. This time, reach the ear up and tuck the chin down. Same option for your hand at the side if you like. As the ear reaches up, chin tucks down, jaw relaxes. Feeling a stretch on the side of the neck, maybe a little bit further back this time. When you're ready, let that relax. Switch sides through the center. Second side, ear to the ceiling. Tuck the chin down. Option for your hand at the side if you like. Relax your jaw. As you're ready, back through center. Take a moment, just move your head in any way that it would like. Sometimes it feels comfortable to go side to side a couple times. We're going to add in a couple more movements for the shoulders, since shoulders are our focus for the class. So we'll start finding our shoulder pack. So imagine you've got some heavy grocery bags in your hands, or you're stabbing some swords into the floor, or you're trying to punch through down to the basement. Feel your shoulder blades glide down your back, reaching towards your back pockets. See if you can keep that engagement of your shoulder blades reaching down while you let your hands relax. Bend your elbows and reach your elbows forward, keeping your shoulder blades reaching down. If you lose that, you can reach your elbows down to the floor. Keep that shoulder blade reaching down, and then gently bring the elbows forward and back. So from the side, reaching the elbows forward and then straight back. Feeling the shoulder blades glide closer to and farther away from the spine. A couple more. And go ahead and let that relax. Next movement, helicopter. Gently interlace the fingers. One elbow up while the other one's down. The elbow that's down, feel that shoulder blade closer to the spine. Then reverse. Other shoulder blade comes closer. See if you can feel that gliding motion. And gently pulling apart at your fingertips can help you find that engagement too, just a little bit. So working again with the shoulder blades, we're going to move to differentiation. Next, we'll just take a little baseline information. So let that relax for a second. If you have some water, you can take some water for a quick break. And then we'll start our baseline measure, arms gently crossed in front, just turning everything from the left to the right. So hips, torso, arms, head, everything's just gently turning from side to side. You can shift the weight of your feet. You can move your knees a bit. Just let everything move from side to side, and notice when your body wants to stop turning around, kind of the edge of what feels easy and free, just like our arm swing. Go ahead and bring that back to center. Let your arms relax. Next, we're going to keep our shoulders right in place. So imagine you have a wall right in front of your arms, and you can't move your arms, but you can move your torso and your head. So let's turn from right to left, hips turn, head turns, and just bring your attention to what you can feel with your shoulder blades gliding in your mid-back. Keeping those arms facing forward, up against that imaginary wall. Noticing the sensation of your shoulder blades coming closer to and farther away from your spine. Go ahead, let that relax, take a little break. Then we'll do the opposite of that movement. So this time, only the arms move, the hips stay forward, the head stays forward, and just gently from the left to the right, move the arms side to side. See what you can feel with your shoulder blades closer to your spine and farther away. Maybe getting a little bit more range of motion each time. Then go ahead and take a rest. Let that relax, shake it out a little bit if you like. Then we'll go back to the beginning and see if anything feels different. So moving everything all together, turning from the right to the left, noticing if the sensation is any different this time, seeing if we can remember what that range of motion was the first time, what felt free and easy then. Does anything feel different now? Maybe a couple more from side to side. Then let that relax. We'll go back to the helicopter, see if that feels different as well. Gently interlace the fingers, one elbow up and the other one down. Does that range of motion feel any different? Any sensations change? And go ahead and let that relax. Last movement for the shoulders, we're going to throw the ball up in the air. So you can just start with a gentle squat. We're going to imagine we have a giant ball. We're going to throw that ball as high as we can up into the air and start over. Tossing it up. Feel that momentum as you toss the ball as high as you can. Take a couple more. And then let that relax and shake it out. Next, we're going to slam the ball down towards the floor. So our starting position can be a little bit different. We're going to hold that ball above our heads and then slam it down on the ground. And just go at your own pace, repeating the movement, using your breath to help you. Couple more. And take a break. All right, shake that out. Last time, we're going to alternate. One arm throws the ball up while the other one slams it down on the floor. When you're ready, couple more. And let it relax when you're ready. And shake it out. Take a drink of water if you like. We're going to move into our anchor practice just to warm up our glutes here for a bit. So you can grab your strap. We're going to make an imaginary railing across the front of our hips. And then sending our seat back behind us, we're just going to fold forward over that railing. Squeeze your butt to help you stand back up. So just a basic hinge to get started. Then we're going to add the engagement of our lower body. So let that rest for a moment. Setting up for our anchor. Turn your toes slightly in. Send your hips a little bit back so you feel your weight plug into your heels. Gently bend your knees. Now pull your feet closer together like you have one foot on a boat, one foot on a dock, and you're trying to pull that boat closer to the dock just with your feet. You might feel the muscles on the inside of your thighs and your butt working to help you draw that together. Then make your railing one more time. As you draw your feet closer together with that anchor, see if you can use the engagement of your anchor to help you fold forward over that railing. Squeeze your butt to help you stand up. Use that anchor to help you stand. Just take that a couple more times here, practicing our anchor and our hinge at the same time. Strength and stability. All right, coming on back up. You can go ahead and let that relax. Drop your anchor. Let that go. Now we're going to start our balance practice. We'll use a staggered stance for our balance practice. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, just to help us find that engagement now of an anchor facing forward. Toes slightly turned in, just like we were doing. If you were wearing cross-country skis, they would cross a little bit in front of you. Now scissor your legs closed. The back leg is coming forward, the front leg is coming backward. Maybe feeling engagement in the front of the back leg and the back of the front leg. Now use that anchor of your scissors to help you practice hinging forward over your railing in this position. Using your anchor to help you hinge forward. The lower body is helping you fold over that railing and helping you come back up to standing. Keeping that work in the lower body so that the low back doesn't take over the work. Let's take a couple more. Coming back up. Feet facing forward now like we're on railroad tracks. Second phase of this 3-part balance practice will be woodpecker. So arms can come over your head however it's comfortable. They can be a little bit forward if that feels better. Now we're not using that scissor action anymore. Back foot up onto the toes, heel off the floor. Imagine there's a board going from your arms to your back leg. As your arms drop forward, you hinge at your hip. Back leg comes up off the ground. So practicing our woodpecker here, hinging forward. You can pull against that strap a little bit for more stability with your upper body. And just see what feels comfortable for you to hinge forward. Just a little short balance practice. Trying to keep that same distance as your arms drop down, your back leg picks up. Let's take 1 or 2 more. And then come back to your starting point. Let that relax. Let's take some squats or hinges just for a little bit of a break. Whatever feels more comfortable. Hinging forward, we've practiced that. Seat comes back behind you. Squeeze your butt to stand. If you'd rather take some squats, keep your shins in place and just sit back behind you, bending your knees and pressing into the floor with your feet to stand. Squeeze your butt at the top. Just a little bit of stability in between our balance sessions here. And let's do the last round now for that same foot. So same foot goes forward into our woodpecker stance. Back foot, toes are on the floor, heels off the ground. So you have the option to practice your hinging, to take that woodpecker, short balance, or you can hold your woodpecker a little bit longer and go into an airplane pose. So whatever feels best for you to practice, you can always switch it up as you go. Hinging forward. As the arms come down, the back leg comes up. And you can hold your balance as long as it feels comfortable. Pulling a little bit on that strap for stability. Taking a break when you need to. Switching to your woodpecker if you like, a little break. We'll take about 10 more seconds here. When you feel ready to be done, both feet can come down. Squats or hinges before we transition, so whatever would feel better. Hinging back, squeezing your butt to stand, one option. You can use your anchor if you like, or go to your squats. Keep your shins in place, sit back behind you. You can use your arms to counterbalance, push into the floor, squeeze your butt at the top. Feeling a little bit more stable in the pelvis, in the feet. And then we'll practice the second side. So second side, other foot forward this time, starting with the hinges, toes slightly turned in, just so that we can find that scissor motion a little bit easier. So again, draw the legs closed. Same kind of energy like that boat coming closer to the dock. This time we've got scissor action with our legs. Front of the back leg is working, back of the front leg is working. Find that railing again. Use your anchor to help you fold over that railing, hinging forward and using your anchor to help you come back up. So as much of the work as possible is in the legs. One or two more. And then when you come back up, now your toes can face forward like you're on railroad tracks. Letting go of that scissor action now. Back heel can come off the floor. Option to come into your woodpecker. So arms can come up above the head or a little bit forward, whatever feels best for you. Then you have that board connecting across your back, arms to the back foot. As you hinge forward over your standing leg, back foot comes up as the arms come down. And then take that woodpecker balance, short little hover as you hinge forward, coming back up to take a break, and returning at your own pace as you're ready. Pulling against the strap a little bit in your hands to help your shoulders feel a little more stable. One or two more here. And then as you're ready, let's take a break. Squats or hinges, whatever feels best for you. Try to focus on both glutes working equally, so squeezing your butt equally on both sides. Making sure there's even engagement from one side to the other. Now to finish up, we'll go with that same foot forward. Now going into the option for a longer hold in airplane pose. You can also practice your hinges or your woodpecker with those shorter holds if you like. As you're ready, hinging forward over your standing leg. You can hold a little bit longer for airplane pose if you like. Taking a break as you're ready. About 10 more seconds. All right, when you're ready, let that go, let it relax, shake it out. Last time, squats or hinges, just to find that stability. And you can let your strap go. Take some water if you like. And we'll move into chair pose next for a little bit more stabilization. If you have a block, you can give it a try with your chair pose using a block just to start out with. Gently squeezing into the block and then just sitting down to the level that feels comfortable. Take a little pause, coming up for a break. Noticing how it feels in your chair pose using a block. And then your hands can be wherever it feels comfortable. If you like them in front, at your hips, or over your head. Either way is fine for now, just to do this little practice. Then let's try without the block and see what feels better today. So your thighs can come together or they can stay apart, whatever feels better in your body. And then go ahead and see how it feels without the block. Taking a break as you like. And then choosing the option that you like the best today. We're going to practice a little bit of rotation before we go back into chair pose. So first bit is just to rotate from side to side. We'll use our hands together, push the left hand into the right to rotate to the right, and then push the right hand into the left to rotate to the left. So holding on to that block or holding that engagement in chair pose will help us keep our hips facing forward so that the rotation stays concentrated in the spine. Let's come back to center for a moment, do a little experiment. This time, see if you can keep your eyes facing forward as long as possible, and just try to move your torso first. So eyes face forward, push one hand into the other, and then when you can't keep your eyes forward anymore, turn your head. Maybe you see something different behind you now. Coming back to center, same thing, keep your eyes facing forward as long as you can. Pushing one hand into the other to rotate the torso, and then turn your head. Back to center as you're ready. Let's try one more time on each side, keeping the eyes forward as long as possible, and then turning the head. Coming back to center, other way, eyes forward as long as possible, and then turn the head back to center. All right, let's try it with chair pose. Now we've got this engagement of the lower body to keep our lower body stable. Try to keep your eyes facing forward as long as possible, pushing one hand into the other to rotate to the side, and then turning your head when you can't keep it forward anymore. Everything back to center, other side, one hand into the other, and then turn your head back to center. All right, now we're going to cross the left hand over the right thigh, just for a little bit of extra rotation. You can have your other hand on your hip, or if you like, you can bring it up behind you, maybe sitting down a little bit farther. Come back to center. Let's try that one more time. Special focus on keeping the eyes forward as long as possible. So rotate the torso, and then as you're ready, turn the head. When you're ready, everything back to center. Let's just take a little break standing up. Then we'll do the second side. Same thing. So as you're ready, sitting back down. This time one hand crosses over the other thigh. Other hand can be on your hip, or as you rotate, it can reach up or behind you. Everything back to center. And then let's try that one more time. Eyes facing forward as long as we can. Rotate the torso, and then rotate the head. Maybe sitting down a little bit more if it feels okay. And then as you're ready, everything back to center, and stand back up. You can remove your block if you've been using your block. And let's just take a little bit of standing cat-cow. Tuck the tail, reaching forward. The more you reach forward, the more you tuck your tail, the more sensation you're likely to feel. As you're ready, come back through center, draw your hands and elbows back behind you. Reach your chest forward and your tail behind. You can look a little bit up towards the ceiling if that feels comfortable. And reverse as you're ready. Tuck the tail, reach forward. Back through center. Hands and elbows back, tail behind. Chest forward. Let that relax. When you're ready, take a sip of water if you like. And we'll come down to hands and needles. Hands and knees to thread the needle. So into tabletop is what I'm trying to say here. Coming down, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. You can walk your hands forward just a bit, about one step, and we'll start by just rocking the table forward and back. So coming back towards child's pose, maybe feeling a little stretch in the low back. You can hold it here for a moment if you like. Then as you're ready, straighten the legs. Head can come a little bit forward from your hands, and then send your seat again back behind you, rocking forward and back at your own pace. When you're ready, back to your stable tabletop. Wag the tail next, looking over your right shoulder at your right hip, feeling your right side body contract, left side body lengthen. Looking over the other shoulder, left side contracts while the right side lengthens. And just go ahead from side to side, maybe exaggerating the movement a little bit. Maybe you can lean over the edge of your yoga mat as you lengthen one side to the other. Looking with your eyes, bringing a little bit more mobility into the neck, over your shoulder from side to side. As you're ready, back to center. Now going to thread the needle. Let's take the right hand between the left hand and knee. As you reach it through, you can drop your right side of your head and shoulder down to the mat if you like. Holding here for a couple breaths, and when you feel ready, push into your left hand and then spiral up, leading with your elbow first, and then extending your arm if it's comfortable. And take that a couple more times, threading your right arm in between your left hand and knee, drawing the head and shoulder down to the mat if you like. Pushing into the left hand again, leading with the elbow first, and then hand up if it's comfortable. And then one last time, thread the needle. Pushing into the hand to unwind, leading with the elbow. Arm can reach up, and let the right hand come down, and we'll do the second side. For the second side, starting with the left hand, threading underneath right knee and right hand. Left side of the head, left shoulder can come down to the mat. When you're ready, push into the right hand to spiral. Left elbow can lead, then fingertips towards the ceiling. 2 more times. Thread the needle. Pushing into the hand when you're ready to spiral up. And then one more time. Pushing into the hand and reaching. Both hands can come down. And let's just take cat-cow a couple times. Tuck the tail around the spine, chin to chest. Releasing back to center. And tail sticks out behind you, chest reaches forward. At your own pace, a couple more times. As you're ready, back to your stable tabletop position. Go ahead and take some water if you have some water, and we're going to move into relaxation and release for the muscles to wind it down. So you can come onto your back. Knees can be bent, feet on the floor. And let's just go for arch and flatten first. So rock your pelvis forward towards your heels. Create a gentle arch in your low back. Let your belly be soft. Let your head nod forward if it wants to, or you can press your shoulder blades into the floor a little bit more to grow that arch a little bit bigger in your upper back if you like. When you're ready, let everything melt towards the floor. Let everything go and take a pause. Then as you're ready, one more time, rock the pelvis forward towards your heels. Let your head nod if it would like to. Gently pressing your shoulder blades into the floor if you want to grow the arch a little bit bigger in your upper back. Belly is soft. And then as you're ready, relax. Let everything go. Other direction, now tuck the tail to flatten the spine into the floor. Contract your abdominals to press your spine closer to the floor. You can let your chin tilt up towards the ceiling a little bit if that feels comfortable. And as you're ready, let everything relax. Take a pause and go one more time. Tuck the tail, flatten the spine into the mat, contracting the abdominals. Chin can tilt up towards the ceiling a bit if that feels good. And let everything go. And you can go ahead between the two motions at your own pace if you'd like. A couple times, rock the pelvis forward. Relax to neutral. Tuck the tail. Flatten the spine. Relax to neutral. Let's take a moment to pause. And as you're ready, we'll stretch the lower body. Keep the left foot on the floor. Step the right foot towards the ceiling. You can hold behind the right thigh for support. Point and flex the foot a few times. And then as you draw the toes back towards the shin, bend the knee, straighten the leg, point the toes. Take that a few times, feeling the energy in your muscles as they contract and lengthen with effort. And then take a pause with your knee bent. So you can do a couple ankle circles in one direction and a couple in the other direction. And go ahead and cross the right ankle over the left thigh, opening into figure 4 stretch, right knee out to the side. If you like, you can reach behind your left thigh and draw the stretch closer to your chest. As you're ready, right foot can come onto the mat, left foot steps towards the ceiling, holding behind the left thigh for support, point and flex. Then as the toes draw back to the knee, bend the knee, straighten the leg, point the toes, feel that energy in the muscles as you move with effort, pointing and flexing your foot. And then take a pause with your knee bent. Take a couple ankle circles in one direction and a couple in the other direction. Then figure 4 stretch, left ankle over the right thigh, open the left knee out to the side. If you like, you can reach behind your right thigh, draw the stretch closer to your chest. As you're ready, both feet can come down onto the mat. Let your feet come out to the edges of your yoga mat, and you can windshield wiper from side to side. You can hold a little bit in each position if you like. And then as you're ready, let your legs extend long. And imagine you have a paper plate underneath your low back. As that paper plate turns to the right, your right hip hikes towards your right armpit. The right side of your body shortens. Maybe your head wants to nod towards your right shoulder. Left side body lengthens. Then rotate that paper plate to the left. Left hip comes towards the left armpit. Right leg reaches away from the body. Left leg feels shorter. Maybe your eyes want to look towards your left shoulder. And just go ahead, gently turning the pelvis from one side to the other, feeling the length of one leg reaching farther away from the body. Just lengthening the muscles, releasing the muscles around the hips and pelvis. And then as you're ready, you can just let that relax and take a moment just to notice how your body feels as you're resting on the floor and how your body is making contact with the floor. Any sensations you can notice. And anything that might have shifted since we started. And you can stay here and rest a while, or if you'd like to come to seated, you can gently turn yourself to one side so you can gently press yourself up. And thanks for practicing today. Take care.